Right, hello and welcome to this week's angling vlog. Today you join me on the banks of the river and we're in search of chub. The session actually started about 3 hours ago where we tried swim number 1, a lovely glide, and I'll just play the clips of that start of the session now. Of trots down the river and we're into our first fish of the day. You never really quite know what's going to come up. And it looks like a trout, which are in this river, but did think it could have been a chub because it did hold and didn't jump to begin with. And there we go, the first fish of the day, a brown trout, and look at the lovely colours on it. They are beautiful fish, the black dots with the red dots on it, lovely markings. Not the greatest fish to be catching when you're chub fishing, and you don't know if it's coming out on the camera there, but you can just see you do actually have some quite sharp teeth. A lovely fish. Let's get it straight back. Second fish of the day, another trout. I think it's time for the move. I think if Mr. Chub was about, we'd have had him. So them two trout were more than welcome. You know, any fish is welcome when it's a cold winter day like today, but the challenge is to catch chub, and when you've had two trout in about 3 hours trotting, Mr. Chubb's most certainly isn't going to turn up. He's either not in the area or he's not playing ball. So grab the gear, quick change of location, and you join me in swim number 2. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at the swim and how we're going to approach it. So swim number 2 of the day, what we've got is a tree upstream. So it's only a narrow river, it's not a big river, and we've got a run here of dark water and structure down to another overhang, and we've got shallow water below us. So we've just got a short run here, and places like this can hold quite a lot of fish really. What I'm going to do is just going to start putting some maggots in, really in the tree really, so they've got time to get onto the bottom, and hopefully if we're quiet we can pick up a chub. As you can see, I've trickled a bit of bait into the swim and I'm dying to make that first cast, but before I do so I'll quickly go over the setup that I'm using today. The rivers in the country have been an absolute mess. The last couple of weeks they've been out of the banks more than they've been in, and I've been dying to get out on the bank with this rod. I've been looking at this rod on every morning on the way to work and just praying that the rivers get to a level where I can actually get out and try for the chub. It is the brand new Korum glide. It comes in 13 foot, and then this version is the 12 to 14 foot version. It's a power rod, so it's made for bigger fish, and on the sessions where I've caught dace, it has managed it's been light enough to hit them shy biting dace, and I will use it on a future blog just targeting dace, because I do think it has got the finesse to target them. But what it's made for is them bigger fish like the chub and barbel. So I can't wait to tie the barbel next year, but today it's Mr. Chub. So it's the 12 to 14 foot Korum glide. The line and reel is the Korum axis, and I've got 4 pound 4 ounce float fish, and that's the 3000 reel. Down to the business end of the rig, I've got quite a visible float. With chub there's no missing the bites. The float absolutely buries. So I've got a 6 number 4 stick float. So the shotting pattern that I've gone with today is evenly distributed Dinsmore's number 6 shots all the way down the line to a bulk of about 6 or 7 of them, just to get that bait down in the water. We'll take a quick look at the side tray and we'll make that first cast. So the side tray for today is as simple as it comes. I've got Cheshire Particle hemp, and in there I've mixed in some tears from Cheshire Particle. Just gives you them bigger components for holding, you know, chub and holding them in the swim. The other side, couple of pints of red maggot, no finer bait for chub, and we're just going to start just feeding the swim, just keeping them maggots going down. We're going to put a float in here and hopefully we can, Mr. Chub's going to be waiting there. The first shot down, we're into a decent fish, and it's probably, barring the perch on a recent vlog the best fish that I've had so far on this korum glide, and if you read what it's for, it is for targeting them better fish. And the fish has just come up and it's a chub. It's the first fish of a move, and it shows you've just got to put the groundwork in to find the fish. On that other swim it was a trout first trot, and on this one we've got what we've come for, Mr. Chub. And there we go, the first chub of the day, and it's taken a move for us to find it, and that's what it can be like in winter. You've got to locate the shoals. Well, that's a great result, that. Let's get it in the keep net so it doesn't spook the shoal, and see if we can get another one. Great stuff. If you're quiet, you can sometimes catch fish very close. This is the very next trot down after that first one, and we're into another chub. Great fun on the new rod, and I say just play them nicely. And what you're trying to do really is get them fish upstream out of where you're catching the others, and get them out with as little disturbance as possible. You don't want them to spook the shoal, so I'm just going to play it, ease it upstream, and there we go. Just take your time. You don't want it really thrashing on the top. When them white lips of the chub come up, you know he's ready. So let's get the landing net and get him in. So with that chub resting in the landing net, just going to put in some more red maggots into the swim, and just a bit of hemp and tears just downstream like that. So by feeding that bait there and putting the hemp in, it is like a game of chess. You're not that far from the fish. The main things you've got to make sure is you get every fish out with as least disturbance as possible, so you're not spooking the shoal. If there is one down there, we've had 2 in 2 casts, so it would suggest there's 1 or 2 about. But also by putting bait in there now, by the time we've set the camera up, blogged the other fish, you're giving them fish just time to settle back in, start coming on the feed, and you never know, on the 3rd cast you may well go in and hit another fish. It's just about being patient and methodical and playing the game. It is like a game of chess at times with chub, and we've just taken 2 pawns, so let's have a look at it. What a result. 2 chub in 2 casts, and like I said, just put that bait in now, letting it settle, and by the time I've done this piece on the blog, a couple of photos, then you never know, another one might be waiting. Just shows this time of year in winter, it's location. It's all about location, whether that's pike, roach, dace, chub. That bit of river back there was 6 foot deep, a long trot, and we had 2 trout, I think it was. 2 trots here, and we've had 2 chub, and that is the difference. It's shallower and probably not as good a swim to look at, and let's get it straight back. I very much doubt we're going to get a 3rd one in 3 casts. You know, a bit of commotion in the swim, but just, you know, looking after that fish and taking the pictures and resting it. Probably been about 10 minutes since we had that last fish, so you never quite know if one's waiting. With the swim, they can obviously spook downstream, or they can spook into the snag above you. So it's not the longest trot in the world, so actually chasing them chub downstream isn't going to be easy. I'm trying to keep on the inside so I can keep on the inside of that tree downstream. And there we go. So you've got to be careful striking. Well, that's the 3rd chub, almost certainly going upstream. I have to try and stop him, feels a better one. Just, I say the key is just to play them out. The one thing you don't want to do is lose them. because losing them is a disaster, because they spook the whole shoal. If you keep getting them out and not causing too much disturbance, you can catch quite a few fish. So what I'm doing, I'm playing the fish in front of me as much as I can, not where I'm catching them, because all his mates are sat down there now and he's upstream. So I'm just going to tease him underneath my feet. As I say, play him in front of me, long handled net, and he's in. And that's the third chub of the day, and a great result in moving swims. Not quite 3 chub in 3 casts. We had that one shot down where we didn't get anything, but what a move that's turned out to be. Let's get invested and repeat the procedure. Put some maggots in and rest him up, blog him, and hopefully let's be greedy like Mr. Chub is renowned for, and see if we can get a 4th one. Doesn't that just show how a move can pay off? 3 chub, and at this point, you know, you've got to hope that there's a few more, but it doesn't really matter. Really made up. Got about an hour of the session left, or 2, and hopefully, well, can we make it 4 chub in 5 casts? Let's go and take a look. And like I say, just trying to stay on this inside line, on the inside of this tree, and not go too far over. I've got a feeling that the fish will eventually move over, but and I say what we're doing at the moment is working, because that's chub number, well, I presume it's chub number 4 in 6 casts. An hour day can turn round, eh? And say again, just playing it so it's upstream of us, and just flicking some more maggots in while I'm playing it, because obviously you're trying to keep them other fish down there happy. But this one's playing ball again, just staying in front of us. I say he's just coming up, he's not, you know, thrashing about or anything. That the key is to get him in. So the game of chess continues. Big handfuls of maggots, don't mess about when it's chub. They can eat, and they can eat quite a lot of bait. That is nothing to 3 or 4 chub that might still be down there. So big handful of maggots going down, and what you want them on the bottom, and any chub that are left there just milling about, you want to keep them there. So some hemp and tears just keeps them picking up them bait, and by the time we've blogged this next fish, you're hoping that they're still playing about and still in the swim. We've had them fish quite high up, so there's a good chance that there's more chub hanging about. One really happy angler. I say hopefully that little bit that I've been talking about then just shows a bit on, you know, what my thoughts on approaching the swim and how I'm feeding it. I say a lot of the comments on the vlog, people do enjoy, you know, the how. You know, there's a lot of vlogs on YouTube where it's just, you know, fish after fish after fish, and hopefully the vlog that I make on the channel, you know, shows that bit of the how. You've got to have the location. You can't catch what's not in front of you. A lovely chub, and number 4. Let's get it straight back. Hemp is the best holding bait that there is, whether that's for carp, you know, roach. It keeps them fish down where you want them and stops them coming up to the source of the maggots. I've covered it on the vlog before. The fish will naturally compete to come closer to where I'm throwing these maggots in here. That hemp keeps pushing them back, it sinks to the bottom, it's heavy, and it's my way of just saying, hang on a sec, you stay down there. I don't want them coming up here, because this is where I'm playing the fish. I want them to stay down there and pick up one every now and again as I'm going down and bring them upstream. So there are times on the vlog when you feel like you're pushing it a bit, and putting the GoPro on my head now for what is, I think, the 6th trot of this swim seems a bit cheeky, but why not? It's another one. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 6 trots and 5 chub. This one has stayed downstream, and I am only on a £2 hook link and that small size 18 hook. Keep your finger on that drag for any changes of speed of the fish. Just leave them to play themselves out and tire them there, and then bring them across the river when they're ready. And so far today they have all played ball. And there's that tiny size 18 hook in the top lip. I say sometimes you just don't need big hooks. You can see there, tiny hook. And there's that chub, number 5 I think it is. It's been a frantic, probably an hour, maybe an hour and a half max, and what a change of swim. The best one so far. Got a bit of depth to this one, and they're all playing ball. They're all just coming underneath my feet and not jumping, not splashing, just turning in the water as if they're topping. And you just, as long as you keep getting them out, they'll keep coming, as long as they're still down there. As I say, you don't know how big the shoal is, but yeah, 5 chub, 1 happy angler. A small chub this time, probably the smallest of the day. And what you didn't see is when I was unhooking it, I think it swallowed them all now, but its mouth was absolutely full of maggot. I mean, it was rammed with them. So it just shows even these small ones eat maggots like they're going out of fashion. They can eat a hell of a lot of bait, and that's why on the bigger rivers sometimes you need pints to keep them there. The smallest one of the session, but none less welcome. And he's come again just that few yards down the swim. They're really on it, so it's safe to say that move of swims really did pay off. Now predictably it couldn't last forever. A bite of chuck going down every time. Them chub, even if there was a number there, we're never gonna stay there forever. You know, even though you're getting them fish in and you're bringing them upstream and bringing them slowly towards you, there's only so much pressure they will take. They'll come back. Hopefully we'll get one more before the end of the session. It's going to take a bit more of that game of chess to get them back. So with that, there are a number of things that I will do now it's gone a bit quieter to try and get a bite. The first thing I always do is reach for the brew. Pour myself a nice warm hot chocolate. It's a cold day, and what it'll do, it'll rest the swim for 10-15 minutes. I'll keep drip feeding maggots in, but there's no line going through the swim. You've not got any commotion, and after 10-15 minutes you might find that shoal just calmed down, and it's like coming to a new swim again. And like I went in first time and got a bite, sometimes you can go straight back in and get a bite straight away. You can see on screen now we've been putting quite a lot of maggots in, you know, probably 10-15 maggots every trot through. One thing I will do is I'll cut right back to the small amount that you can see on screen now, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 maggots. And what you're doing there, if there are any chub left in the swim, you're getting them last few chub competing for less bait. Remember, they're quite a hungry fish, and they will compete with each other. If they're competing for less bait, the competition increases, and there's more chance of you picking up another fish. The other thing I will also do is, as you can see on screen again now, is really pile the maggots in. Prey on that hunger of the chub and their greediness. Keep piling the maggots in, probably, you know, 10, 15, 20 maggots a time. Sometimes double feeding the swim, and you're pushing it then. You're really saying to them chub, there's a lot of food coming in, and you've got to overcome the fear, the flight mechanism in the fish, for the one of hunger takes over. The need to eat overrides the fear of being caught or danger as such. And they're just a couple of things that you can do to try and get bites again, and a couple of tactics that I'll employ over the next 10 minutes to an hour to try and get another bite. And there we go. After doing that piece on resting the swim, I say it's been about an hour or 40 minutes without a bite. and just completely resting the swim for 15-20 minutes, having a brew, drip feeding the bait in, and the first trot back down, the float is buried, and we're in to another chub. Resting the swim really worked. And say at the start, if it was a game of chess, we outwitted him with that one. Resting the swim, it always works with chub. It will, 9 times out of 10, will pick you up that extra fish when they, when they've spooked, because that shoal has spooked. We were getting them every trot down, and then you go 40 minutes, 50 minutes without a bite. Resting the swim for a good 15-20 minutes, a warming brew, and we've got one more. Let's get it straight back. So we are moving into the embers of the session now. But one huge advantage we've got going for us now is time. Today we haven't had much of it, but what we are moving into is the witching hour, and as them light levels dim, them fish like you've seen now will almost certainly come back on the feed, and say it's been another half an hour without a bite. And a bit of luck there, I put the GoPro on my head to talk about the low light conditions and the float buried, but it is going to play into our favour as the light levels dim. That witching hour, or later on in the year you call it chub o'clock, because it is when them better fish do feed. So I've got about half an hour of the session left, and I'll pop a couple of pictures on screen if I get any more in this witching hour. I'm just going to enjoy the embers of the day, and I'll pop some pictures on screen if we get any more. Let's get this chub back with the rest of his brothers in the net. Right, so the session's come to an end there now. As you can see, the light is really going, and it's only about 3:45, something like that. So you can see how the nights are really coming in now. The nets behind are drying, and just a bit of reflection on the vlog. A tough start to the morning, and one that shows how important location is. 3 hours for them 2 trout, and then we've come here and we've had a couple of bites, and as you can see on screen now, that final net, just over 20 pound of chub in the afternoon, is an enjoyable day on the bank, and really turned the session round, but does show how important location is. Hopefully some of the tips in the vlog will help you guys who are new to river fishing to get them bonus fish and keep them fish coming. So all that remains to be said is to wish you all tight lines. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. If you have, it'd be great if you could subscribe or like the video, and until next week, wish you all tight lines, and I'll catch you all next time. Tight lines.